Hey, everybody. Before we start this episode, I know that I didn't release an episode last Tuesday. And you know what? I'm feeling like I might have been a little advantageous with the once a week thing. So who knows? Just keep an eye out. I'm going to try to release a new one at least every other week if I can. I'm trying to kind of change up the format a little bit, and it's requiring a little more coordination on my part with some other comedians. So stick with me, and it can just go up from here. But if they're not out every week, I'll at least try to put one out every other week for you. Okay, now into the other intro that I just recorded. I just wanted to let you know that because I love you. Here it is. Bum 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 bum. Hey everybody, welcome back to Infomation. Thanks for tuning back in with us. I realize I'm talking like I'm in a library right now, and it's because it's my roommate and his friend are in the other part of the studio here in Los Angeles, and I don't want to talk very loud. So here we are. It's my smooth jazz voice. Welcome back to Infomation, where we got real weird news right here. We do have a good episode for you today. Ryan Singer is on the show. If you don't know Ryan Singer, you're about to know him. We go over a very fun story about a guy who who got stabbed by a jealous girlfriend who thought he was cheating, but she didn't just stab him. She stabbed him with a samurai sword that she had Bruce Willis taped on the side of the bed for when he fell asleep. It's a great story, and Ryan Singer is a great comedian as well. So make sure you check out him on all of his social media outlets, which you can find at the end of the show here. And for those of you who are tuning in from around the world, thanks for being here. I will be in Virginia Beach on when am I going to be there in May? I'm going to be there Virginia Beach from May 9th through the 12th. I'll be headlining on May 9th and 10th, and then I'm opening up with Fortune Feimster on the 11th and 12th. And then June, I'll be in Chicago on June 8th and 9th. If you're here in LA, check me out on May 31st at Big Money at the Virgil Theater. You can also check me out at in Boulder on April 29th. I will be there. And most importantly, May 20th is the 5-year anniversary of the Boulder Comedy Show. We've been up there for 5 years, every single week, and I like to think I got one of the best shows in the country. I would put my show up with all the cool independent shows in the country, and I think it would at least be in the top five. But maybe I'm a little too close to it. But please make a point to come see me there at the Bohemian Beer Garden on 13th and Pearl in Boulder, Colorado. Again, that's May 20th. We'll have two shows, 7 and 9:15. We have a phenomenal lineup of comedians. It's going to be a showcase style of all my favorite comics that have helped grow the show, including Ben Kronberg, Mike Stanley, Brant Tobler, John Toll, Aaron Urist, and myself. Maybe even Mitch Fattel. We'll see. So make a point to be there. It's going to be a hell of a show. And let's do it, everyone. Let's get to this show with Ryan Singer. Fun episode. Enjoy it. And thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you in a little bit. Also, heads up, it's about to get really loud. So turn your volume down. I'm giving you a couple seconds. Heads up, it's about to get not really loud, but louder than it is right now. So I don't want to blow your eardrums out. So turn it down and enjoy. And we are back, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in to Infomation here in our Los Angeles studio, right next to the Scientology building. Is my guest today, Ryan Singer.
Hello.
What's up, Ryan? How are you?
Just drinking in the Sea Org,
Dude,
baby.
right? the Sea Org?
The beautiful blue Sea Org. Isn't that what they call their workers? Their worker bees are like the Sea Org, SEA. It's like an acronym for something, like Scientology Energetic.
Oh, I always thought they
Alliance
called
or
them
something.
slaves.
Yeah, well, that's what you. Well, yeah, it's it might as well.
Is that
It
the
might as
nice?
well.
Is that the nice way that Scientologists call
Yeah,
them?
it's like the Sea Org, I think.
I
I could be totally wrong on that.
That sounds like when I hear that, I picture like a land manatee.
Yeah.
That for some reason that's what I imagine is a
And
sea
what's
org.
truly the truth, I think, when it comes to like the sadness of all that. I mean, we don't have to talk about this, obviously, but there's
No,
people.
let's get into it.
There's people
Let's
who
open up the show with
There's
this.
people who are definitely lost, and we
Yeah.
are all seeking answers for
Sure.
the inevitability and the unanswerable questions of the universe, and what is the universe, and who are we, what are
Sure.
we, where does consciousness come from? And when someone, and then throw in some homelessness and or drug addiction or alcohol problems
Sure,
or deep depression, and someone comes along and says, "We'll fix you."
you're gonna
And,
like that.
You're gonna like that,
Yeah.
and they offer a warm smile
That's true.
and maybe a cup of soup or whatever it is, and so they suck you in, just like anything else.
Right. Just like the drugs that pulled you down to begin with.
Exactly.
So it's kind of a vicious cycle. If you
Yeah,
have an
and
addictive
they
personality.
clearly still have no problems
Getting
with money.
people? No, they don't. You look at that, like
It's
even
wild.
with all the documentaries that have come out, the show that came out, they're still. It seems like they're still doing just fine.
Yeah,
It's weird.
I mean they have their own street with no street parking. It's all brick.
I saw that. Just a nice, pretty. It's called L. Ron Hubbard Way.
Yeah, and I do get fascinated by that because I'm interested in L. Ron Hubbard in a cursory way because of his relationship with Jack Parsons, who's one of my favorite characters from history.
Okay.
Who's this guy who was into black magic, but he also was at the forefront of rocket science.
Interesting.
And the beginnings of JPL and NASA getting to space and rocketry. Because rocketry used to be kook talk. Like if you believed in the possibility of rockets or talked about like, oh, these rockets, we can make rockets.
Then you were like crazy.
You used to be a crazy person.
Really?
Yeah. So, and they knew each other. L. Ron Hubbard actually lived in the sex magic mansion that Parsons had in Pasadena.
What?
Which wasn't really a sex magic orgy mansion as much as it was just a mansion that he had that they would have meetings and stuff. Like
and probably the occasional
and
orgy.
probably some sex magic would happen.
What years was this?
This was this in the 30s? I mean, this was like what helped us win the war, eventually.
Sex and magic, absolutely.
Yeah, and
Yep.
and then a little bit of rockets.
That could be our next plan to finally get out of this war that we're in. Let's just, because I feel like everyone's fucking now. So
Yeah.
at least all of the kids are. So we got Elon Musk working on rockets. We got the kids humping. I think we're gonna be all
Kids
right.
have always been humping, though, right?
Yeah, but I feel like they're humping now. Granted, I wasn't humping when I was a kid, so maybe I'm just like
I
how are all
wasn't
these
either.
kids
I didn't
fucking?
lose my virginity until I was almost 19. I was a sophomore in college. All my friends lost their virginity when they were like 14.
Yeah, that kind of pissed me off.
So, like, kids have always been humping.
Although some kids, the cool
Kids be humping, you know? Women be shopping, kids be humping,
What's up with that?
dudes be napping.
Oh man! Well, Ryan, we were just talking about this. We originally met at the show in Boulder, and
Great show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's still going. It's still
I'd love to
going
do it
strong.
again.
We're about to hit our 5-year anniversary.
God, let's get me back in there.
I'd love to have you back in there. Why haven't you been back?
I don't know. I haven't been to Denver since.
Really?
I think that was a couple years ago or a few years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the festival.
Right.
I haven't done a run through Denver in forever.
Well, we got to change that.
I love Denver.
What do you try to travel a bunch?
Yeah, I'm
you?
traveling about half the year at
Yeah.
least. At least in the past. Although this year I've tried to make a conscious effort to stay in LA more.
Yep.
For whatever
Yeah.
auditions and things like that, and
Sure.
just to stay around. But so this year has been light for me so far, and it's nerve wracking
I bet.
because I'm a road guy.
Right.
But
How do you feel your road now? Are you a road act or are you just a road guy?
I'm a road guy.
And so how does your act on the road translate to what you do here, and vice versa? So
It's
if
the
you're,
same.
Is it?
I do the same act. To mix results on the road, or or here. I mean, I am what I am.
Okay.
I mean,
course.
it's one of these age-old, debates about like, certain shows. Yeah, I do material that I know, the tried and true stuff.
Right.
If it's like a big show or a pack show or something like that,
Sure.
a money show, something like that. But yeah, my act doesn't change, really at all.
That's good. Wow.
I mean, some of my bits are pretty long though, so I mean that's.
But how do you do
challenging.
those long bits when you have 10 minutes?
That's like my
here?
whole set.
Right. So,
Well, I
so
mean,
you just
you
go
know,
there
I
and do
get-
a joke?
Well, I'll do like abbreviated versions maybe of them,
Sure.
and just kind of cut to the heart of them,
Sure.
which is a good exercise.
Of
But,
course it is. Especially if you're, it's a good exercise for writing TV sets out, audition sets. That's
sure,
for
yeah, and I haven't even submitted for a TV set in a while.
Yeah.
Because it's just been like my act has just been like. Well, I haven't had a manager for like a little over probably a year and a half or so. So I've just been kind of like not doing any of that. I feel really out of the loop on almost everything industry related.
Okay.
I just kind of like have embraced like, well, I'm just an artist who worries about craft.
Okay. All right.
All you other idiots can worry about the industry because you're in it for the wrong reason to make
That's
money.
true.
I'm here just to be an artist and never have more money than next month's rent. But
there will be longevity with that.
well, I mean,
Kind of.
obviously I'm kidding a little bit. I'm like, put me
Sure.
on TV right now. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Because that's how you sell more tickets on the road.
Yes, it is.
So, but I think it's fun. I mean, I'll do sets. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult. Like I have a joke where like I talk about the first comedian ever is the wooden stool,
Yeah.
and then go through the backstory of that tree, how that wooden stool is still alive. So it's just the story of a tree. So I'm just pretending to be a tree, and depending on what city I'm in,
They
people are
love it,
like,
or
"What
they
the
hate
fuck
it."
is going on?" Or is this? We came out on free tickets to see stand-up comedy. This dude's a tree. Is this poetry night or something? So some people sometimes I noticed this started happening about 4 years ago, and I don't want to I hate even talking about it because it kind of owns it in the universe, and now this is real. But
okay.
I started doing I weird walk people sometimes.
Okay.
I call it a weird walk,
Sure.
where people just kind of I can see them up front, and they're just kind of looking at me like this the whole time,
Just eyes.
they're not angry at me. They're not these people this. He's being
You're
political.
Like, huh,
I don't walk people because I'm so political
Yeah.
or something like that. But I do and then you see them I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, and then they go to the bathroom. But it's a
team effort.
and then she goes to the
Yeah,
bathroom
yeah.
a few minutes later, and then they just never come back.
Gotcha.
I thought it was a new phenomenon. I was working in St. Paul at the
Yep.
Joke Joint,
Okay.
Ken and Becky's and Rachel's place.
Okay.
And this was a few years ago. We were hanging out in the office after the end of the weekend was over, and he was the first club to ever headline me on the road
Gotcha.
in 2009
Cool.
or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, he said something because there was a bunch of young dudes stage right, like a party of 6 of them, and I weird walked them, and I knew I was going to.
From from the beginning.
We're bros. We're here for comedy. What's this dude?
Jacob
This dude's
Bombs!
talking about singularity and shit. What's going on? And so they never come back. And afterwards, I'm talking about. It's I knew those young bros were gonna get weird walked. And he's like, yeah. I mean, you walked about, I don't know what number he said, 20 people all weekend or something. And I was like, oh, okay. I hope you're not too mad. I was like, I noticed this in the last year or so. I'm weird walking people. And he goes, no, you've been walking people since the first weekend we ever had.
Oh no!
But that made me
At least
feel
they
good.
still like you. At
No,
least they're still
that made me
you.
feel good. It's and walking people isn't a sign that you're original.
Sure.
I'm not trying to give people that impression. I'm so original. I walk people. People leave the show because I'm so original. That's not what I'm saying. Because there's bad ways to walk people too.
Sure.
But that did make me feel good. Not every club is like that.
Right.
Because there's a couple clubs I can mention, but I won't, who don't bring me back because of that.
Interesting.
And also, I'm not a huge draw.
Yep.
So I'm
That's
not
the
a huge.
issue I have.
So I'm not a huge draw. I'm not famous, and I walk people.
Those are. You know, the three things that are most important in comedy,
Yeah.
I think you're killing two of them so far. Walking people and not a draw. So the people that do come who weren't expecting you also don't want to come back.
Yeah.
You're winning.
Yeah, so it's so who knows? Maybe next year I'll be working at your neighborhood Ralph's. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's true. There's nothing wrong with that. Not quite what you want, but
Not what my dream was.
not what your dream was at all.
Not what I've sacrificed the last 15, 16 years of my life trying to become better at.
Right?
For the sake of, art and craft. But
Now, do you want to get into acting and stuff like that?
yeah, I love acting. I mean,
Yeah.
I studied theater in college.
Okay.
I've always been into acting. I love doing it.
Gotcha.
I'm always looking for opportunities to act.
Yeah.
I write things with myself in mind as the actor. I like doing other people's projects where I'm acting.
Excuse me, my cat is bothering. Is
Uh,
trying to get out of the room.
Cat wants out. Jailbreak.
Go.
So, yeah, I do love acting.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky enough to do some television
Yeah.
and some other independent features and things like that.
Yeah.
And
Is that part of the reason why you're trying to stay here more to get
Yes.
more of those?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
Because I mean, I don't know what it takes. I mean, I changed my mind last
Sure.
year. I was doing a tour early last year, and I thought it was my best tour. I had the best poster.
Nice.
I had the best material
Yeah.
I've ever had. I thought it was the most unique I'd been, bringing something like a unique experience, and the numbers in the cities that I'd been to just weren't they're not increasing.
Gotcha.
And I was always of the mindset of you go to the same city over and over and over again, you build your fan base there. And for whatever reason, that's not happening for me in some of the cities. So I'm I got to recalibrate what it means to be successful. That old game plan of what it means to be a successful stand-up comedian on the road doesn't apply anymore.
Right. I agree. Yeah.
For some people, it may still work, but it's not working for me. What I thought would ensure my success.
Yeah.
Showing up every year with at least half of a new act. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I've been doing that. I show up. I mean, I'll be recording my 4th album this summer.
Wow.
I recorded my first one when I was about eight and a half years in.
Oh, I thought when I was 8 years old.
When I was 8 years old. So
young developer.
so I've been doing, a new album ever since then, every 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And so I feel I don't feel the need to turn over material like somebody like Louis C.K. had made legendary or
Sure.
whatever, these famous comedians who their audience demands it.
Sure.
No one knows the jokes from my first album.
Right.
So I can do those jokes whenever I want, but I still like challenging myself and doing new material because I'm a different comedian, much different than I was, 6 years ago,
Yeah, of
8
course.
years ago, 10 years ago. So yeah, I'm trying to stay in town more to try to have more opportunities to do those kinds of things, to try to change whatever it makes to people to get interested in maybe what I have to say.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just not interesting.
Wait. What do you mean? The tree, the wood stool.
Yeah, maybe that's not interesting. Maybe a lot of people aren't what I'd really like to see in my stand-up comedy. A comedian take a lot of theatrical, artistic freedom in the way he presents what a joke is. Maybe they're not interested in that.
Well,
that's
they're
fine.
They're wrong.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. And being wrong is fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to die on some, comedic cross. You know what I mean? Trying to you don't get it. You don't understand.
Are you not entertained?
Because that comes from a place of this weird entitlement of genius.
Sure.
Or something.
Right.
I'm a genius and you don't get it.
Right.
You're wrong.
Right.
You are wrong. That's entitlement is poison in our business. And we have friends and we see it every day.
That's my favorite meltdown.
Yeah.
Is watching a comedian be like, "You guys are idiots. You don't get this. You're," and I'm like, "Oh boy, no, I don't think you get it."
Yeah, we all have bad nights, but entitlement just in general is poison. When the end of the year lists come out, people start having their meltdowns. People will have meltdowns on behalf of you.
Sure.
Or for you
Sure.
if you're not having a meltdown. Sometimes, like, why is this person when you are fill in the
Yeah.
blank, whatever it could
Yep,
be.
yep.
And it's like, that's just entitlement, and that's poison, and it's like, what are we doing this for?
One of my favorite people here is just glued to who gets Conan sets, and I just love watching this person just be like, "What?
And like,
Can you
understand,
fucking believe it?"
and it's like there's like 4 or 5 at any given time, and they've been the same dudes. They've been the same men. Well, a couple women for Comedy Central, but it's the same 6 gatekeepers that have decided what stand-up comedy on television should be
Yeah.
for the last 20 years.
No,
You're gonna let these 6 people make you feel like you're good or not?
right,
That's such bullshit.
right,
That's
right.
so crazy.
Sure.
Like, you think here's a bad example. You think Tom Brady's going to let 6 people tell him he shouldn't have, kept his dream alive,
Right.
or whatever example you want to use?
Sure, sure.
6, roughly 6 to 7 people,
That's one outlet.
and they all switch jobs. They just move around from job to job.
Right. And just think of how many different ways there are to make it now in 2018. Think of how many different ways there are to make it in this industry, to where you don't need those 6 people, or you make yourself big enough to where those 6 people have to say yes.
And you can tell them no.
And that's,
If you're
if
into
you
the
want to,
vengeance,
right,
if you're into the
absolutely,
vengeance
right.
game, which I'm not, but
Sure.
it's like at the same
put us
time,
on TV right now, please.
Yeah, yeah. But what are the chances all 6 of those people don't get what you're doing?
Right.
I mean, who knows?
Right.
It depends what you present them, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. It's too easy to get caught up in that BS, and it's
True.
like not important.
Doesn't make you happy.
The only thing that's important for me is like trying to be as funny as I can be personally, and what I really want to be, and not be a prisoner to my own success.
Yeah.
There's people that are prisoners to their audience that they don't like. It's like, well, that sounds like a nightmare. Do you want to like, oh, but I have this sweet house in like, a nice neighborhood in Los Angeles. But now you have to dread every time you go on the road and talk to these people
Right.
that you're performing for who don't understand who you really are.
Right.
Because you never gave yourself a chance to succeed. You succeeded in the idea of what you thought it would take to make it, and now you're trapped. That is living hell.
Boy.
I'd rather have 3 roommates in Glendale, which I currently do, and get to perform whatever I want on
Right.
stage every time. And sometimes I don't go back to clubs,
But you're happy.
but I'm happy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm happy.
As happy as we'll get.
yeah.
Man, we got deep on this.
We got deep.
We got real deep, real quick. Well, let's hop into the story. What do you say? You
Go
wanna
for
do
it.
this? So Ryan, I mean, what kind of news do you like? Did you follow news much?
I follow most of the news I follow is the fringe paranormal area.
Oh, really?
Alternative news, I guess some people might call it,
like paranoia, as in
or
like,
paranormal.
Paranormal. Oh, okay. So like not
Paranormal, yeah.
conspiracy theories, more like ghosts.
Well,
and-
conspiracies fall into that
Okay.
as well. Because conspiracy theories, are a very, very real thing that have affected the course of our country, the history of our country. Like, I mean,
Well-
I'm not going to go too deep into it because people can get swallowed by conspiracy theories
Sure.
and it ruins your life.
Sure.
And almost ruined my life when I was younger. But almost every war we've ever done is a false flag. And conspiracy theory is a term created by the CIA to try to discredit people who were questioning JFK's assassination. So yeah, there's
Kind of like that.
conspiracy
that
is pretty
sentence.
simple. People getting together to try to create an outcome of some kind,
Right.
or whatever.
Right. Trying to create something almost out of nothing.
Yeah, so it's like, it's not hard to make a conspiracy. I mean, it is fun to like backwards conspiracy theory things,
Right.
and just make up because the problem with conspiracy theories now is everything is a conspiracy theory half a second after it's happened. Like,
I knew it.
You
See,
know what I
I
mean?
saw it coming the whole time.
the worst part is because people like Alex Jones have created this culture. and
That's
it's
that dude
awful.
that yells. He
From
gets all
yeah,
super
yeah.
red from Infowars. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
and so the problem is, and this may sound insensitive to some people listening, but it's just I believe the truth. Before the shell casing has even hit the floor on a school shooting, you have Alex Jones screaming crisis actor, or these students aren't real, they weren't really killed, they're trying to take your guns. The government's never going to take people's guns because the government knows they won't use them.
Sure.
The fact that they didn't use their guns when the economy collapsed end of 2007, 2008, and they stole everyone's retirement and IRA funds, and billionaires, excuse me, I spit on you, got bonuses with your tax money and your retirement funds that they stole from you. They stole from you.
Yep.
Where were you using your guns then? Because that's what people say they need their guns for freedom, to protect freedom. When the government gets too big or out of control. Well, guess what, asshole? While you were covering yourself in deer urine, wearing camo, climbing up a tree to drink Coors Light at 5:30 in the morning with your fucking buddy, you should have been walking into the fucking banks with those assault rifles that you think you need. And I'm not condoning violence as a solution, but I was one of those dirty hippies in the Occupy movement, you know, blocking the entrances to Bank of Americas and shit like that. And I was ridiculed when, well, you had the weapons, the tools to protect freedom, and it didn't happen.
Fucking pussed out.
The long and short of it is those guns will never be used to protect our freedom because you had the perfect opportunity to do it.
Fucking didn't
and
do
you
it.
didn't do it, and that proves to me you're never gonna do it. So
our government shuts down, and technically there is no law. I would think anymore if the government shut down, we don't do anything. That's a good point. Boy, that might fuck me up just thinking about this.
The fact that when the bailout happened, those guns weren't put to use in a way to like just
be like,
protect
no,
the
fuck
average
this.
person.
That's not how this is going to work.
That I mean, people lost their homes, their retirements, everything, and these assholes were getting bonuses who are already millionaires. And it's just like, okay, you're never using your gun, bro, and you're so
That was
worried
just the
about
ultimate test.
so worried about the government coming for our guns. They know you're not going to use them. They could give two shits.
I like that argument way more.
Prove me wrong.
It's true.
No, don't do that.
Come at me, bro.
Prove me wrong. So yeah, I do get into conspiracy theories, but I don't let them like swallow me whole, because there's no rainbow at the end of a rabbit hole like that. There's just some dude trying to sell you a bunker most times,
right?
Like Alex Jones.
Yeah, or
the food
war
that
supplies,
you can,
or Oh yeah.
So
rations.
And it's too bad too, because trying to filter out the actual good information that he may be trying to disseminate gets lost between his yells and his claiming that juice boxes make kids gay. There were no juice boxes in Greece, Alex.
Hang on, for real. Tell me, is that true?
These juice boxes, the lining in the juice boxes are making the kids gay. Essentially is what he was saying. This was a few years ago. And it's just like, yeah, I guess they've always had juice boxes. It's that whole pushing that idea. My peas are...
It's the Capri Sun,
Yeah.
if anything, that's making them gay. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's soft like a ball sack, and you really got to like kind of pucker your lips to get...
And pushing the idea that there's something wrong with gay as well.
that's just
he's
Alex Jones.
still pushing the idea, because he's one of these conservative religious guys at his heart.
Yeah.
So pushing the idea that inherently something is wrong with gay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what he's pushing too. So like that's the real poison of that message. It's not like the ridiculousness of what he's saying it is. It's saying that
Gay is wrong.
Gay is wrong.
Right.
So yeah. It's
Well-
but yeah, so like I don't know. I just hope people don't listen to that guy.
Yeah, no. Well, to all of our listeners, they know that this show is much more lighthearted than that.
Yeah, this has gotten pretty dark.
This is
Pretty heavy.
we start off.
This story is bonkers though.
This story is hilarious. This is great. It's no conspiracy. And now I also want to start this off with this is from the Washington Post, and I kind of want to read the opening to this article. And I never read an article word for word, but you got the way that this was written. I feel like the author of this article is like an aspiring like novelist.
Yeah, it didn't read like news as much as it read like a story.
It really did.
It struck me as very weird.
It was odd, and I looked this up on multiple news spots. I first saw it on AV Club, and then it linked to Washington Post. So we're reading this off of the Washington Post, which is a reputable, agency. They typically will go a little bit further than we here at Information will to, verify a story is real or not. But because I just go to Snopes, and if it's cool there, or
that. Here's the thing about Snopes. Who's Snoping the Snopes?
Yeah,
because
right?
the Snopes, they were just a married couple.
Really?
Yeah, just a married couple who started Snopes. And it's like everyone uses Snopes as like their go-to. Is like, but
no one verifies anything nowadays.
What verify the the neutrality of this married couple that is Snopes. I got a problem with Snopes.
It's just like they're sitting back like, hey, what do we want to say, hun? Is this real or fake?
Yeah, and Snopes will use. You see this a lot on Wikipedia too, because I'm into all this New Age woo shit that they talk about, like that people talk like they call it New Age woo. It's like
New Age
clairvoyance and
woo?
psychics and all that kind of stuff, right? And
have you ever gone to see a psychic medium?
oh yeah,
Dude, they're crazy.
Yeah, they're great.
I've had one at my show in Boulder, and it's interesting to see. A couple times I've watched it.
Yeah, it's really fun stuff.
Oh,
It's
boy.
fun stuff.
Yeah.
But like they'll use like speculation to debunk what they are calling speculation, if that makes any sense.
I think so.
Let's say
Wait,
this.
say it again, yeah.
People claim they can communicate with each other with their thoughts.
Okay.
Isn't it more likely that what they are doing is relying on past intuition and relationship with person and know what they may be thinking already? So it's like they're not proving that they're not. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then they'll say, "Well, no, I forget the scientific term because I don't invest too much of, I don't try not to get too fired up about this stuff anymore. But it's where the onus is on you to prove it, is what they say. And these are all rules we've made up, right, for logic and
Right.
for communication and what's real and believable. We've made all these rules up, right, and we choose to live by these rules. And some people invest like their personality into them, like the scientific method.
Yep. Yeah.
And so, and people act like the scientific method was as if Moses came down and gave us the scientific method, like this is this perfect thing that can never be questioned, right? Well, the scientific method
That's
wasn't
what it
used.
says. That we believed it forever, so it's real.
Yeah, so I mean, it is. But the Snopes, for the most part, they're probably just, people who like really identify as skeptics and like they just love that part of themselves. Like, oh, we're contrarians. Those people who are always a lot of fun at parties. I'm a contrarian. But
Great.
there is
Linda's here.
There is stuff that you can check on Snopes that I would argue is beneficial for them to
Sure.
have debunked or whatever, or they give their little percentage thing on it or whatever they do now.
Right.
So, because now they're a bigger operation than they probably started as.
Well, we'd hope.
But Snopes isn't a bad thing to go to.
Sure, but you're probably right. Who's snoping the Snopes?
Who's snoping the Snopes?
And how? And then if that's the case, how do you really know what's true? That's what Trump's doing. How do we know what's really real news?
See, that's
I'm not getting into that.
yeah. For me, it's like more fun to believe in stuff,
Yeah.
but there's limitations.
Right.
And then discrediting all news agencies and everything, like it's so
Right.
dangerous the way way all that's playing out. But so
Well, we're gonna say that this is credited.
maybe the Snopes will be the ones that run for president.
Look, we are the realest of real news.
Yeah.
We are the ones that you go to. We are your go-to source
It
for
would be
fake
fun
shit.
if the Snopes could run as president,
Right.
And then because they were doing that during the debates, I think, weren't they? Like where they were like
Were
fact checking
Snopes,
afterwards. They fact check all the things that candidates say.
I don't know actually.
They were
I only
doing that
go
in
there
this
for
last
shit that's
one.
really outlandish. Like
Well, no, not the Snopes. I'm saying like the networks were doing
Oh.
that, and it was like bonkers, like how much was getting wrong. But
and still got
but that's the
elected.
world. We need. Where are the Snopes when we need them most?
Snopes, come save us, please. The Snopes are just like vacationing in Mexico.
Yeah, and it's like Snopes, we need you. Where are you? And the Snopes are like, no,
We're not coming
we've
back.
given you our best.
We're in Canada.
And then people like
Mexico.
Ryan Singer are saying, who Snopes the Snopes? Well, I'll tell you who Snopes the Snopes. The Salt Life. Snopes the Snopes. That's what we're doing now with all that ad money we made off our website.
Wait, did they create Salt Life?
No.
Oh God.
No, live in the Salt Life.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Which
All
is
right.
what
Well, because there's a brand called Salt Life.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I've come to understand that living the Salt Life just means what? Like the beach and you like the beach and margaritas and maybe Jimmy Buffett or something?
Presumably, yeah.
So it's like you live the Salt Life.
You live
meaning
in
like
salt
you like
water,
drinking
yeah.
margaritas and
I thought it was more because I've only seen it down in the South, like in Florida, where my family's from, and I always assumed it was Salt Life, like
ocean.
everything relating to water, like being a redneck, because it's definitely on rednecks trucks that I see that.
Yeah, for sure.
Big Confederate flag, fishing boat, big trucks, tires, guns, beer.
Salt Life.
Hell yeah, fuck yeah, man, Salt Life,
Salt Life
buddy.
on my French fries. And salt
I got salt on my sweet potatoes.
How'd he die?
on
Salt
everything.
life. A lot of sodium in that body.
You
It
put a
was
little
not-
pinch of salt in your beer on a draft beer, and it'll dissolve the foam for you.
You know that trick?
The salt
can-
of beer?
You can just put a little bit of salt on top of a draft beer foam, and it'll dissolve.
Well, that's
the
that same
thing.
theory of you wipe your nose
Yeah,
and
right.
you
With
get
all the grease and the
everyone-
salty
yeah,
grease
yeah,
from it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, a lot cleaner to do the salt
And you don't
part.
have to pee as much.
Okay, I'll stop doing that
'Cause
voice.
the salt
I
drinks.
can't stop doing that guy's voice. Any chance to do
The
that?
salt
guy.
life guy.
No, just this guy. Yeah, I tell you, this guy.
Usually he's got a
You
real.
kind of sound like Gollum a bit, like a more upright Gollum.
Yeah, this is if Gollum was born in Alabama. I tell you.
I got to stop that guy because the guy's really. He's got a real filthy mouth.
Hey, this is a podcast.
I just like to come hard.
So, like that's all he wants to talk about.
How hard? All right, we'll talk. Well,
Why are we doing anything else?
then coming.
Why? I mean, why do we have jobs? We just ain't come hard enough.
All you're focusing on at that point, like you're gonna come so much that you're literally gonna kill yourself coming.
I mean, there ain't no way to go but by coming.
You're gonna carradine yourself. You're not gonna be able to come.
Wow, you
one
just
day.
verbed him. Verbed a tragic.
You're gonna carradine yourself.
You're gonna
singer.
carradine
Don't
yourself.
Do that.
That's why I use.
That's why you always have a safety belt.
Yeah, that's why.
If it's been pulling for too long, it breaks.
Yeah, it's like 75-pound weight fishing line.
Okay. Let's get into this story.
Oh boy.
I don't know how you do this, so I'm gonna let you do this.
Sure,
I'm gonna let you
sure.
set up the story.
And we'll dive into it.
We'll dive into it.
So first of all, this is from the Washington Post. This happened up in Washington State, kind of like Oregon, Washington, kind of the same area. Here's what I thought was interesting. First of all, this is the Washington Post. This is not like the Onion or anything.
They
like
brought
that.
down Nixon.
They were the ones responsible for Nixon's hit them and Forrest Gump.
That's right. That's right.
The headline for this news article, the headline is just this: she found a dating app on her boyfriend's phone. Period. Then she bought a samurai sword.
It's like, why is the Washington Post letting them? Why are they being influenced by BuzzFeed?
Right? Like,
Why
this
are
is-
they turning into BuzzFeed?
That's not a real headline. Like the headline on the AV Club was more serious than what this was.
It is upsetting because it seems that they're playing into clickbait
Yep,
culture.
for sure. Like this is the opening to a movie trailer of like
And that
she found a dating app.
and if Trump wants to go on TV and call them fake news,
I wouldn't doubt it when I read this.
he's got like his supporters be like, well, look at these articles they're posting, like just trying to get you to click.
It's true.
And so it's like, it's upsetting.
It's bad.
But the story's crazy.
Here's how the story starts. So I'm just going to read the first two paragraphs of this story in the tone that I feel like it was written. This is Washington Post. With her boyfriend finally asleep, Emily Javier reached for the samurai sword she had secretly taped earlier to the side of the bed. According to an affidavit, and let's try that again. According to an affidavit. According to an affidavit filed by police, the room was dark, and she sparked her phone to see better, to aim better. Below snoozed Alex Lavelle. He played too many video games, Javier would later explain to police. And now he was cheating on her, she claimed. She knew the signs. Tinder on his phone, scratches across his back, a girl's hair in their shower drain. In the weak phone glow, Javier allegedly started hacking. That's how this article starts. This is the Washington Post, not the National Enquirer, not TMZ, not I mean.
And the Hardy Boys were down the street eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Soon
when
the
they
mystery
heard a
machine
shriek.
pulls up.
They heard
and
a shriek. Like, what the fuck, man?
It's brutal. So apparently, what happened was a guy was stabbed with a samurai sword by his girlfriend, who thought he was cheating. That's what happened. Just to ruin it, he lived. So don't worry. I
Yeah, we wouldn't be making fun of this.
Try not
if
to
they
be
did.
making fun
and
of
also
people
to be
that died.
clear, I know that I'm 41 years old, and I'm not a grump, I try not to be a grump like, back in my day, news was clear and concise. They didn't flower it up with all this bullshit. It reminds me of a great Greg Warren bit. Do you know Greg Warren?
I know Greg Warren, yeah.
The bit about like how his grandpa bitched about like baseball on the radio.
Okay.
And then like...
I don't know the joke.
The joke is essentially he's like, his grandpa would be pissed off because they're not telling him the score enough. Like, so, you know, it's interesting back in the, 1947, the Chicago White Sox, blah, blah, blah. What's the score, dumbass? Like I'm bastardizing his bit, but the perfect radio broadcast for his grandpa, I think it was his grandpa, would be like, the score is 2-1. The team with 2 has 1 more than the team with 1.
There are 3 more pitches left in this game,
the score
which is
still
scored 2 to 1.
He's like, that's a good broadcast.
The team that's got 1 point is now batting.
So anyway, like I'm not trying to be this grumpy guy who's like, I understand that things change and styles change of journalism and things like that.
That's not journalism.
This is not. This is
entertainment news.
Yeah, this is entertainment.
It's
news.
entertainment news. From the Washington Post, I would expect better. But let's keep going into this story. So Alex Lavelle is 29 years old. He is a avid video gamer. He's a competitive gamer, like that's his job.
Let's say what it is. He's addicted to video games.
He's addicted to video games. He plays 12 to 13 hours a day on.
That's like, I don't even sleep that long.
That's right. Like that's a long. I don't even think he sleeps that long.
But boy, do I want to.
He's playing the game Player Unknown. Player Unknown's Battleground is what he's playing. I haven't heard of this game.
Now I gotta download it.
Right? I've heard of I hear Fortnite is the big.
I just downloaded Fortnite recently
Yeah.
At the request of friends to play online. I've played it like 3 times.
Yep.
There was a Fortnite party at my apartment last night where a friend brought over the Xbox and hooked it up to my other friend's Xbox.
Whoa.
So now there was 2 Xboxes and 2 TVs. And it was like a LAN party kind of thing.
Yep.
Fortnite is just Hunger Games.
Okay.
But anyway, it's 15 minutes long each game. So it's like quick and...
So it's
whatever,
like Call of Duty time.
And it's free.
Like
It's a
you're
free
killing
game.
each other.
It's a free game you can download.
Wow.
So anyway, but yeah, it's like... But people are addicted to Fortnite as well.
So addicted.
Because you can talk shit online, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, which is what everyone loves to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So Lavelle woke up with his girlfriend stabbing him. Now, here's what's great about this article is the shit that Alex Lavelle said to the news reporters is the most it is like the perfect answer for you can imagine who this guy is.
Imagine Danny McBride
as Kenny Powers getting stabbed.
Yes.
Right? These are a few of the things he said on the record to the Oregonian newspaper. He goes, I was able to Wang Chung my way to survival. And I eventually bear hugged my let's see here. He eventually wrapped Javier, his girlfriend, in a bear hug and said, quote, to another human adult. He's 29 years old. He said, I saw the look in her eyes and it scared the living poop out of me. This is real.
I was able to Wang Chung my way out of it. Well, now bear hugged her. I mean, I saw that look in her eyes, scared the living poop out of me, dude.
like, how did this not happen in Florida? I feel like this is such a Florida
I was
story.
able to Wang Chung. It gets better when he talks about
Oh,
his
it does.
training.
He does.
talking
Oh,
about his
man.
training. Let's
So,
go to that.
based off of all of his kung fu skills that he has from playing video games. So, he eventually convinced Javier, his girlfriend, to call the ambulance.
Baby, you're going to kill me. I don't know why I'm trying to get into Dr. Phil. I just did a podcast with this guy who's doing Dr. Phil, and I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. You're going to kill me. You need to call the cops.
So he called the cops, and the cops, here's my favorite part, one of them at least, the 911 operator says, quote, you used a sword? Like, she goes, I stabbed my boyfriend. And she goes, you used a sword?
I just imagine it's like some Valley girl. Like, it just happened in, like, Valley Village. Like, I stabbed my boyfriend with a sword, and he's dying. You used a sword?
Oh, my God.
Like, how'd you even, where'd you get a sword?
Tell me about this sword. So when the police arrived, they found they found Lavelle curled up in blood, and he is most of his injuries, because he did survive, were he almost lost his index, middle, and ring fingers on his hand. But in interviews, he said he's happy to be alive, saying, quote, "I was just so proud for beating this samurai wannabe crazy lady with hate in her heart.
I was just so proud to beat this samurai wannabe crazy lady with hate in her heart. I mean,
I want to know who this guy is, to where he's just like, this is a real interview, and he's like, oh man, this is just me, dude. I am a samurai
who I
ninja.
am."
I've been training for decades.
I mean, how heartbroken would he have been if he couldn't, because
Keep
those
playing
are
video games.
because those are the fingers and the things you need. I mean,
That's
well,
right.
I guess you use all your fingers. And I don't play a ton of video games, but like,
But you need your
if
index
you're playing
and middle.
13 hours a day,
You're gonna need a few of those.
yeah.
And then he says, I've been preparing my whole life for something like this.
I've been preparing my whole life.
Which I want to know, what
For
what
this
does he
moment.
do in his preparation? Like, do you think he just has watching this? Because he says in here that because he's a competitive gamer, that he also has a workout regime.
Regime. It's a regime.
Is it a regime
Workout regime.
like the Nazi regime?
Mm.
I gotta find a better word for that. It's very negative.
Regimen. I was kidding.
I like regimen.
It's regimen.
Because regime sounds.
Yeah, I was like, no, it's
I know
It's
what a
regimen.
regime is. It's
Yeah,
it's not good.
Yeah, it's definitely regimen.
It's okay. All right. So he's known as Biggie in the local gamer scene, and they're playing Battleground. He quote he does exercises for his hands, wrists, and shoulders. Also practices mouse moves and techniques to maximize performance.
mouse moves. Like mouse moves would have been the name of a great like 80s like keyboard, like very keyboard heavy song.
Mouse moves?
Mouse moves. You see like Duran Duran.
For some reason, I hear it like
the movie
DuckTales.
Tron.
Mouse moves.
Oh, yeah.
Woo!
That's better. That's better.
It's got like Speedy Gonzales, and it's got all the mouse characters of of the cartoon world in there. Oh man. Then he says too, we're not done with his great quotes. He says, I wasn't a sweaty nerd, more of an etholete. An etholete, not an athlete.
More of an
An
athlete.
etholete. His wrists. I can't imagine what his jerk off game is if he is working his mouse moves that much.
And every time he's just like, ready player one.
It's like, dude, fucking athlete's jerking off again.
not
Biggie's
so
jerking off.
Biggie's jerking off again. In an interview after the attack with the police, Emily Javier, who was 30, admitted she was frustrated with her boyfriend for staying glued to his video game for so long. Then a week before the violent incident, she had discovered that Lavelle was unfaithful. According to this police affidavit, she said that she discovered the app Tinder on his phone. She noticed scratches on his back and from a possible romantic encounter, and red hair in the shower drain, and her hair was dyed green.
Yes.
So she thought, you know what?
How's this moment?
Best course of action.
This hair looks red. Wait a second.
My hair's green.
My hair's
My
green.
hair. This ain't a stoplight.
That son of a bitch cheating on me.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill
I'm
him.
gonna give me a samurai sword.
What?
Hey, what are the samurai swords salesmen be like? Oh, what do you plan to use this for? Just self-defense.
Yeah. To
I like how
attempt-
we're still giving them a southern accent, even though it
Yeah, it's
happened
definitely
in the
up in the
Northwest.
Pacific Northwest. Although, when you're going to murder someone, is my guess.
Yeah.
I've never gotten this far down the road.
Yep.
Circumstantial evidence at best. You're willing to just go for it, right?
Yeah, right?
Like a red hair in the drain. And it doesn't say her hair may have been red, but just happened to be dyed green at the
Dyed
time.
green, that's true.
Although those on the color wheel, I don't know. You have to bleach it and then go. It doesn't matter. But circumstantial evidence. Now you're willing to murder.
Yeah.
Something tells me she's not a hard sell, like in life. You know? Like, hey, did you know the moon's made out of cheese? Bullshit, it is. No, it is. Mice like it. Really?
Go on, tell me more.
That's why mice like to go up to the moon. Really? Oh God, I wondered why. I don't know why we're doing. I don't know why. Yeah,
It's such a southern
Well,
story.
I'm from Southern Ohio, so most of the voices I grew up with, like I grew up around voices like that.
Okay.
So those are like my go-tos.
Really?
Why do you think it gets smaller sometimes? Because it gets eaten. Oh, really? God, I wonder why there was holes in it.
Why do you think that the astronauts spent so much money getting up there?
God, I wondered. So they stuck that flag in a big thing. Do you think it's cheddar? Do you think it's monster?
It's probably blue.
I'll tell you.
That's why it's a blue moon.
To murder somebody, I need a lot more.
Yeah, a lot more, yeah.
I need like Tinder messages.
Like, was she planning on murdering him, you think? Or was she planning on just kind of like giving him a little stab?
Sounds like murder was.
It sounds true. Like, murder was the case that they gave her.
Because she had knives also.
She did it. She had a sword and 2 knives.
So you think she would have just kind of like, sliced him on the arms and her hands and stuff like that?
That's true.
But like, it sounded like he had serious injury. If he's like, yeah,
He was in critical condition.
yeah. So it sounds like she went for it.
That's bold. That's boy, that is a moment. I mean, you can only be ignored for so long.
When a woman sets her heart on something.
Like,
So fellas out there, just saying, I'm not, I'm not telling you how to treat your lady, but you may not want to go more than a couple
see,
weeks.
the problem here too is there's obviously some kind of disconnect between mental health and this woman.
Sure.
Because, and probably this guy too. I mean, I don't want to speculate, but like, playing video games for 13 hours a day isn't good for you.
Definitely not.
So,
But I love how she thought that he's playing 13 hours of video
can
games
leave
a
him.
day. And
they
you
probably
can
live
leave
together.
him.
They live together, obviously,
They did
so it's
live
a little more
together.
complicated.
Right, right.
Anybody's ever lived with a lover knows that. I've had to extricate myself from a lover live-in situation.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard.
Yeah.
So,
But when's it going to be fucking? If he's playing
that's
video
what he
game-
said, right?
And who? But furthermore, he did say that. But furthermore, who is gonna want to fuck him?
And did he have a part-time job where they worked an hour or two a day or something? Or did he make all his money from gaming?
Maybe he's a
I
sponsored
don't know why
gamer.
I said it so condescending. Did you make money from gaming? Like, what a fucking idiot. I make my money telling jokes like a real person.
You're a real adult.
And you're going to make money from playing video games? How about you get a real job like making up jokes about your dick and tell that to strangers, okay? Don't come at me with this fucking made-up bullshit that you're doing.
These fake jobs you
These
have.
fake jobs.
Come on. Don't have health insurance like we don't. Anyway. Yeah, but that's my thing. I don't think anyone's going to be... Who's going to be fucking this dude? Unless he found his soulmate where some girl's like 13 hours of video games a day. Gold. I want you. And then he just needs to dump her because that's the dream woman.
Yeah, there's no... I've played Tiger Woods golf or Rory McIlroy golf. Or
God,
whatever.
I love that game.
I've played the Roy McIlroy version. I bought it on Black
I thought
Friday
about buying that. Was it good?
because it was like for like $15 or
Yeah.
something. And I had like been pretty sick twice earlier this year. I was in bed a bunch.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll get. I used to like Tiger Woods back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it was just a nice way to kill some time. And if I play for like 3 hours, my dick doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like I'm not thinking of like nothing about video games gets me like in the mood for sex
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
aroused or although maybe I'm playing the wrong games.
Well, I don't think golf is the game for sure.
It's definitely not the game to like get my libido going.
Yeah, right. The slowest game on earth, which I love golf. I'm an avid golfer myself, but
We should play sometime. I haven't played in a long time,
You
but
a
I got
golfer?
clubs. My roommate just got clubs.
oh, let's go for sure.
Yeah, there's
Dude,
a
that's
lot
what I
of,
love about being here in California. You can play 24/7.
There's,
Or,
and
excuse
there's a-
me,
yeah.
365.
yeah, there's a ton of par 3 courses around too,
Yeah.
that are cheap.
I play. I'll play at the executive course up Roosevelt. The little. It's a 9-hole course. It's a par third. There's 6 par 4s, 3 par 3s.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice course, and it's a good little. It's a fun little walk. It's right by Griffith Park. So you got little hills.
Oh, yeah,
and
I know that
everything.
course.
Yeah, it's a great.
I've never
course.
played it, but I know it.
It's
Yeah.
cheap, especially in the weekdays.
Years ago, I almost got a job out there.
Really?
A friend of mine, my old roommate back in the day, his mom worked for the county forever.
Gotcha.
And so there was an opening out there, but
It's a fun course.
didn't.
That's a good one. I also want to get out of the city a little bit and play some other.
I'll go out-
Because
yeah.
they're so overplayed. The public courses here are pretty overplayed. and I'm sure that there's some nice ones.
Yeah, if you make like a 45 hour minute drive,
Yeah.
you make an hour
45
minute
hour
drive.
minute drive.
You make an hour minute drive just outside of the outskirts of the town limits. Jesus, learn how to talk. I'm looking at the camera right now, like this guy, 41. I'll be 42 soon. Learn how to talk with your words in your mouth and such.
I went to post school in Southern Ohio. You know, just how to learn to talk down there.
I mean, sometimes I'd put fishing hooks on my bill cap of my hat.
I get things done.
I carried a tackle box with tea in it. Okay.
Oh, God damn it.
Sorry. I've been kind of sending this thing off the rails a little bit.
That's fine. That's what.
Not just on the rails. You even know what that means?
Are there even rails on this
What
show?
happened
To
to
be
the
honest?
training industry? The training industry?
The training industry. Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
The training
It's
industry.
called a training industry.
There's a whole industry of trainers. There's a union for them. There's health benefits. Absolutely.
I'm talking about locomotion.
Trainers. That sounds like a racist form of train conductor. You trainer.
A bunch of trainers coming into this town on the 1st and 3rd of every month
Oh,
with that
God.
government money,
All that good cheese from the moon.
and they try to have sex with all of our horses. It's like the future trying to fuck the past. I don't like it. Wait, what? Because trains took the place of horses.
Everyone,
Wait, no,
I
they
am
didn't.
just as lost as you are. Don't worry.
I don't know. Where am I? No, I'm the
Is
grandpa
this your
from
grandfather?
Simpsons. Where am I? Okay.
Oh, boy.
If I ever do lose my mind, at least fully,
We have some.
I suppose in my old age, if I'm lucky enough to get there, I hope it's just like you don't know what voice is going to come out of my head. Like I'm just this old man walking around going, "Hey, somebody tell me to leave," and then like, "What? Are you okay, sir?" "Oh, I just don't know where the. I just can't find my pills."
You're like, is he crazy or is he doing it on purpose? It's like, I don't know.
"Can't find your pills. What kind of pills do you have?" "Oh, I've got these pills. They make me remember things." I'm like, "You're a fucking weirdo," and I'll be like, "A quarter for your bench putt." Your bench putt? I think I said bench putt when it was supposed to be
Pinch
butt.
Yeah.
Butt pinch.
Pinch butt.
Because that's like old men. That's old school. You can't do that. Time's up, old man. So, that's insensitive. That's definitely insensitive.
Time's up, old
No
man.
more pinching butts and giving a quarter.
Here's a quarter. I pinched your butt.
Those are
Can't do this
the
anymore.
those are the that's that generation. We're like, yeah. It's just grandpa. It's fine. Those are the ones
Yeah.
we can overlook.
Yeah, those days are gone.
Yes, they are. We just gotta let that group.
Hands to yourself, everybody.
Well, it's gonna be hard to talk them into that, especially in the South.
Ready, player one.
Player one's ready. Ah.
Are we still talking about the story? I forgot. I
there's
don't know. Sorry.
There's still a little more left into it. Apparently, she hid his phone so he couldn't call for help, which would have been a great moment for Hey Siri. Just be like, hey Siri, I'm stabbed. Fuck. I
Or
hope
Alexa.
my phone didn't turn on.
Oh. Or mine.
It
Oh,
definitely
she did.
did turn on.
She did.
And in an interview with the Colombian, Lavelle, of course, denied that he was unfaithful, saying, "I barely have time to hang out with my girlfriend, let alone another girl. I play 13 hours of video games a day."
I'm working.
And then he says this to the paper: "I didn't see it coming, but it makes sense that it happened. She obviously didn't want anyone else to have me, so samurai sword." This guy's a legend. Like this
I'm
is.
such a catch.
I wish there was a video of this guy being interviewed for because it was all done through news and through email
She obviously didn't
exchange.
want anyone else to have me.
So samurai sword.
No, and
Because
I-
he's that big of a catch.
I don't want to use circumstantial evidence, but clearly, she, unfortunately, has maybe some mental issues.
He probably.
If she thinks this is the guy, right? Because like
What is his normal? Like, what is his normal life
let's
like?
have. Hey, I was thinking about maybe we could go, get some, go out to eat tonight. It's our anniversary. You just want to watch me eat chicken, don't you? You know how epic it is when I eat.
Oh, come on, I bring all my own silverware. I bring my own seasonings. Shit.
I've been preparing for this dinner my whole life. Like when he said that earlier, I've been preparing for this my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, was he just a little kid to be like, someday I'm going to play so many video games that I'm going to drive a woman mad. And so mad, she's going to try to kill me in some way.
What has his past relationships been where he's like, you know what, I need to make sure that I'm prepared for any moment, for anything that could happen, because these bitches I'm going with, they be crazy.
Hey, Mama, do you think I can be anything I want when I grow up? Yes, Lavelle, that's what I told you.
Can I be a video gamer? Yes. Can I get stabbed by my baby?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course you can.
Anything you want.
You put your heart and your thumbs to it.
As she freebases.
Nothing to do it but put your thumb to it. That's what I tell your dad. Why? What do you mean?
Well,
Don't you worry about that.
it's a gaming thing. It's
You
a video
look for that
game
hidden
thing.
treasure of your own.
Oh man. Where is she at? Emily is being held on bail right now, and here's a great part: the members of the local gaming community in Oregon up there have started a GoFundMe page for his medical bills, and a $10,000 goal. They're at $8,287.
Wow.
Pretty good in less than a month. This happened at the beginning of March. It's pretty good.
Do you think they pour out some blue balls every time before they go gaming online? This is for Biggie. You know what blue balls is? Or brown balls? It's like this energy drink that a lot of gamers and hackers drink.
Oh no!
And so it's like every we're getting ready to do a Fortnite squad battle. Pour some out for Biggie. Some blue balls for Biggie. That cat is staring at me. Okay, not anymore, but
He's
like
watching you pour out those blue balls.
pouring out the blue balls.
I love how it's blue balls and it's mostly drank by nerds who probably always have blue balls.
Yeah.
That's great that they call it. Like they really know who their marketing was going to go to. They're like, no, we got this. It's going to be gamers and hackers. What should we call it? Well, how about blue balls? God damn it. We just got one try and we're done? Hell yeah. Close the books.
Close the books.
All right, everybody. Let's go get fucked up on Four Loko.
Let's start smoking money.
Do you know Four Loko's back?
It is back?
It's back. Riff Raff, this...
I thought it was banned or something.
It was banned, and it's back now because they are sponsoring his tour, the Riff Raff's Four Loko tour. Yeah.
How'd they get back if they're...
I have a
guess
feeling
not,
that
they're
they
not banned
changed. They
everywhere?
probably changed their recipe. Well, he's doing the tour in America,
Oh.
so I'd assume they changed the recipe. But it's hilarious or they just have all that Four Loko left over, and like, how can we legally get rid of this? So they're like, why don't we sponsor a tour
If you
with
give it
the most
away.
trashy rapper there is, Riff Raff, and then which, by the way, Riff Raff, if you ever hear this, you're trashy in the most hilarious way, and I love those pearly whites that you've been rocking. So nice work out there on the strip. But he is just a hilarious rapper. He's that friend that is best in small doses, right? Like when he gets one line.
Oh, I know all too well. What that's
Yeah,
like.
he's perfect. and then if he's just there for too long, you're like, all right, Riff, it's time to get out of here.
Yeah, parties end a lot sooner for me than they do most people.
Time for Ryan to go home, man.
Oh, okay, it's about 9:30. I think we're all getting a little bit tired, Ryan.
What do you mean? You don't want me to do funny voices anymore?
I can do cartwheels too.
I haven't
All
done
right.
my Q-Bird impression yet.
What is that?
Everybody make a human triangle.
We're gonna go to sleep now, all of us. Yeah, but you go ahead and head out first. We got you an Uber. We bought you an Uber.
It's actually waiting outside right now.
And then finally, the last part of this that I that I gotta say that I really enjoyed about Alex Lavelle here is his final sentence when he was being interviewed in the hospital. He boasted, "The feeling I had when I won the fight with my bare hands is just absolutely the best feeling. I've played all the sports, won big games, landed some decent tricks on my snowboard, and this was better." This guy's an American hero.
With my bare hands. I didn't have my robot hands on.
I had my bare hands and
Or
I've
my
just been
woodworking
training.
gloves. Usually I sleep with my woodworking gloves on.
But I was so tired from all that video game
because
playing.
sometimes at night I work wood. You know what I mean?
That
one
is
just-
something he would definitely
Yeah,
say too.
God.
I sleep in a condom because you never know.
I am sex. I am sex. What?
You look
I
up,
am sex.
You look up the definition of sex. It's just me.
I am sex. What's happening in your throat? I am sex. Maybe somebody will Loop that. I am sick. Put a little beat to it.
I
am sick. I am.
Let's get Drennan Davis on this to get
Yeah,
a
we
fucking
should.
beat going.
Hey, Drennan, if you're listening, I know you are.
I am sick.
Oh man, well that's our story for today. That is quite a fun one. I feel like I wish I could meet this guy one day. You know what I mean?
Maybe I just put your thumb to it and you'll be able to. Anything you put your thumb to.
Put your thumb to.
No, I bet you could beat this guy. No problem.
I feel like I could reach out to him and get an
Do your
interview
podcast,
with him
he would
for
do
the
it in a
show.
heartbeat.
Well, why wouldn't he? Right?
You should.
He probably is loving all this too. He's like, and I've done too many interviews, man. He's like, nah, but we need this one for scientific.
But you can
research.
say anything you want.
Anything. You don't have to say poop. He's like, I'm gonna, man. It did. Scared the poop out of me. All right, we're okay. All right, Alex, you're 29 years old. I mean, feces, fine if you want to say that. Fucking A, Alex, say shit. Nah, man, I don't swear. I'm a samurai. Samurais don't swear.
Samurais don't swear.
Samurais don't swear.
But they do wipe with their bare hands.
In what finger? See, that's what's been real tough about this whole thing is my fingers all got stitches on them, so it's getting shit in all my stitches because I can't use toilet paper because I'm a samurai, and samurais wipe with bare hands.
We took a sacred vow
It's part of the samurai oath.
to never put the paper to the potty hole. The potty hole, I meant to say.
Pooty hole works. Pooty hole.
Put the paper to the potty. I am sick. Put the paper to the potty. I am sick. Okay.
Oh man.
Maybe I should open up for Riff Raff. Jeez, what am I doing up
You
here?
might upstage him. Sorry to all my Riff Raff fans out there. Ryan, thanks for swinging by
This
for the
was
show,
fun.
man.
This
I
was fun.
appreciate it.
My
dude.
old stomping grounds. I used to live on this same street on the other side of Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm not trying to give away your
Yeah.
location
Well, I
there.
tell everyone I'm literally right next door to the
Okay, yeah.
Scientology building.
But yeah, I used to live right up the street with a. I used to live with a lover.
Oh, and that was the one that you had to extricate yourself from?
Eventually, but not from that location. you know.
Dope.
We broke up, and then I had to extricate myself from the mud. That's a line from a great Field Report song, which I can't remember the name of. But Field Report is an awesome band. You should check them out.
Oh, I thought you meant like a news report from the
No.
field. Field report. I live under a rock, Ryan. I don't know if you know this about me. Well, thanks for
thanks for being. Can I
joining us.
plug some
I
stuff?
was just about to say, how can our friends find you, follow you, and
I'd like
see
to
you?
plug a couple things.
You gotta
First,
do it in your
a
voice,
toaster
though, man.
oven. Okay. I
First,
would,
the toaster oven.
I'd like to plug my toaster oven.
My
in.
toaster oven in, and then once that's warmed up, then we'll talk.
Yeah, and to all my family members, thank you for
Putting
being
up with the
kind enough
voices.
to put up with the voice that I've borrowed from you. So, RyanSingerComedy.com.
Okay.
Rysing on Instagram
Okay.
and Twitter. Same thing, RYSING. I just had a book come out not too long ago. It's called Ryan Singer's Composition Notebook.
Cool.
Ryan Singer's Comedy Notebook. Either way, it's a replica of my comedy notebook. I've done artistic set list drawings for like the last 6 years, and I've
Okay.
compiled them all into one book that looks like a replica of my comedy notebook.
Oh, cool.
So, to my knowledge, it's the first time a comedian has let the world
Into
have
that.
a copy of their
Yeah,
notebook.
Yeah. Interesting.
So it's a pretty cool art book. It's like a coffee table art book kind
Yeah.
of thing, comedy. So I think it's interesting, and it was fun to make. It was fun to put together. So you might like it. It's on Amazon, self-published.
Sweet.
So that's out there. It's also available on my website, ryansingercomedy.com. But in my podcast, Me and Paranormal You,
Cool.
where I interview people with paranormal experiences or abilities even.
Interesting.
And then also do research episodes. I call them 30-year bonuses. And experiences are the interviews. So Me and Paranormal You available everywhere. Yeah.
Cool. Have you ever sat? Did you know who Cindy Kaza is?
No, I don't know.
Kaza. Cindy.
yeah,
She's a evidential medium. She goes around and does a lot of the improv Funny Bone clubs.
No, I've never talked to her.
She's
seen
come
her.
up to. She's doing. I may have just missed her, but I think she's either about to do or did the Irvine Improv, and she's very good at it, and she's come up and had her own, like we'll do her shows on like a Monday, a little special event in Boulder, and she's someone you should talk to. It's pretty fucking cool to
Where's
listen.
she based?
She just moved. She was based out of Tennessee, out of Nashville, and then when I was dealing with her, she was living in Denver for 6 months or so,
Okay.
like a layover.
So I prefer to do in-person interviews if possible.
You should for sure. She travels everywhere, so you might
Okay,
cross
cool.
paths with
I'll
her.
look her up.
Very cool person, and I'd be glad to connect you two
That'd be great.
together. It's pretty interesting to watch what she's able to do. Because a lot of people are always like, "Nope, it's bullshit." And I'm like, I hear you, but there's no
Come
way.
experience
But
this.
there's no way that
This is like it's really throwback.
Yeah.
It's a throwback to. I mean, I don't even want to say vaudeville,
yeah.
but because it predates that, I think. But
Yeah.
but these public displays of things,
Yeah.
right? That used to just be like electricity, or but like there is something very Americana about it, but also predating even this country, I think.
Sure.
So it's definitely something that I think everyone, at the very least, should check out once.
Sure. I agree.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right. So me and Paranormal You on all the podcast outlets, and then his book, Ryan Singer's
Singer's
Composition Notebook.
Yeah.
And then check him out on Instagram and Twitter at Rising, and then his website, ryansinger.com.
And on my website, there's a section on my website that's not like promoted necessarily, but it's called Undergroundable.
Mm-hmm.
And I have downloads of things there,
Oh, cool.
like secret downloads.
Cool.
But I've done sometimes I'll just make sketch albums and just put them up on the internet.
Sweet.
And I don't really necessarily promote them at all.
Sure.
Except maybe once or twice.
Cool.
But so there's a lot of like sketch character, weird music type stuff.
Yeah.
There as well. If you're into voices and like that weird kind of riffing kind of thing.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Rising. All right. RyanSinger.com. Ryan Singer, thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, this was fun.
Please send your stories in as you find them. Infomation.news@gmail.com. Please comment on our podcast there. Like us, subscribe to us, rate us, and we will see you next Tuesday, everybody, with a brand new episode. I don't know how these are going to come out in order, so just tune in next Tuesday for the next episode, and we will see you then. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.